Good evening, everyone. Is this thing on? I guess so. My name is Michael Mulhearn. I've been here before several times, not many times on the weekend, though, at your Sunday masses. I'm a priest of the congregation of the mission of St. Vincent de Paul. They call us the Ascension Fathers and Brothers. And I always tell you this might help you remember me. I am a classmate, high school classmate of Tom Tanks. So here I am, because I guess he's gone. But that's usually how I wind up anywhere. I was over at Nativity earlier today, so I'm just making the rounds. Eventually I'll get home. I usually don't mess up as early as I did at Mass today, but usually I have to get into it a little more. There is a line, just a little verse in the gospel that I want to talk about for a few minutes, and that's this one. It says, "Come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while." I want to talk about resting a while. Do you know what I've discovered, and I believe it's true? I believe that we have too much anxiety, and I believe that we have too much stress in our lives, and I believe that we're too hurried because we don't take time to stop and do nothing. I never thought that God would have to make a commandment, which he did in the Old Testament. Hey, take a break every once in a while. Because we like to think of ourselves as taking a break. I was talking to a guy the other day that was telling me, I haven't had a vacation in 8 years. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you say that like that's a good thing. Like that's something that you're proud of. I wouldn't be proud if I worked every minute of every day. People need to take a break and rest, catch up, recreate, recreate. Now, the normal day for doing that, according to the commandments, is the Lord's Day, today. And that is Sunday. Sabbath is a Saturday, but when Christ came, we changed it to the day that represented Easter. So that is our Sabbath. That's our holy day. And we're not just talking about Mass, although that's an important part of keeping holy the Sabbath, but also part of keeping holy the Sabbath or any other day is to take a break. I always encourage people to set aside, you almost have to schedule it, and it's something that you do by choice. For most people, it doesn't come naturally unless you're lazy. Some people can take a break all day, every day. And all we say is, oh, that lucky stiff. No, that's a miserable life. That's a miserable life. But we do need to take a break every once in a while. Now, a few words about this going to Mass. There is a commandment about keeping holy the Sabbath, and that includes coming together. Why do I have to go to Mass, people say? Coming together as a community to praise God. Why do we do that? Because Jesus asked us to. Do this in memory of me. Do this in memory of me. Oh, so many people tell me, actually, I'm preaching to the choir here, this is really the best sermon for people that don't come to church. But I don't know how to get them together. And here you are. So hey, you get to take it to them, okay? There's a guy that told me the other day, several months ago or whenever it was, Father, I pray better on the golf course than I do in church. And I thought to myself, well, I've seen you play golf, and actually I understand that. That makes sense to me. My mother, God rest her soul, told me one time, my mother loved nothing more that she loved, even more than me, I think. She loved the casino. She loved Ameristar. In fact, down there at the riverboat, I think they called her Captain Mulhearn. Anyway, do you know what she told me one time? She said, Mike, she says, do you know the difference between praying in church and praying in the casino? I said, no. I said, this is going to be good. She said, when you pray in the casino, she said, you really mean it. I said, where did you hear that? I said, you just didn't make that up. And you know, next time I went with her, it was actually true. I saw some people. I saw a guy at the dice table saying, I saw a lady forming a relationship with her slot machine. She had little good luck things there. She had a little rabbit's foot, and she had a little, looked like a little statue of Buddha, and like a little clover leaf there of some sort, and a little statue, a little magnetic statue of the Blessed Mother, all lined up there, trying to cover all the bases. You know? So she was trying to hit a jackpot, not knowing that this is not what Jesus meant when he said, keep holy the Lord's Day. He didn't mean go play at the casino. He didn't mean cut the lawn. He didn't mean play golf. He's not against those things. Some people find all these things very relaxing. But that's not what he meant. Here's what Jesus means by let's go to a quiet place so you can get some rest. A quiet place means a place where you can be alone and without interference. That means you got to turn off the TV. That means you have to turn off the radio. That means you have to get rid for a little bit of the iPhone, the smartphone. That means that you have to not text. By the way, kids are so stressed. I spend my time working with adolescents and young adults. Kids are so stressed now. You know, have you read, years ago, they discovered you can get BlackBerry thumb. You ever heard of that? Any of you kids ever got it? That means you text so much that you have to have surgery. Why? It's like carpal tunnel syndrome. And it really does actually exist. It's a bona fide serious condition. I'll never get it. My thumbs are too big to text. But some people do get it. But to put all this stuff away and just sit or stand or relax, outside or inside, doesn't make any difference. Relax in the quiet. Why? Because prayer is conversation with God. And conversation doesn't just mean talking. So many of us think that prayer is just talking to God, but it's also listening. Judge Judy, I heard her say one time on TV, you know Judge Judy? I heard her say, why did God give us one mouth and two ears? Because we're supposed to listen twice as much as we talk. If we have a conversation with God, tell me this, how can we listen with all this clatter going on? We can't. You know, all of this technology was supposed to make life much simpler and easier for us. But what has it done? It's made it more stressful. You know, smart everything. I have a smart refrigerator at the house. It's not that sharp. I spend half my life with tech support, trying to figure out how to get a glass of cold water out of this thing. You know, it's stressful. It causes anxiety. So, my friends, let's obey And let's obey this gospel, and let's obey that commandment. And you know, we can only do this by our choice and by our will. We have to choose to do nothing. We have such a bad work ethic in this society that we just feel guilty doing nothing. You know, and let's say your families, you have all these smart tech, everything is tech and it's wonderful. Then you wind up having to schlep the kids all over God's creation for their sports and school activities and after-school activities and summer activities and jobs and this and that and the other thing. No wonder they're stressed out to the max. My friends, take a break. And as you can see, it didn't always work for Jesus either. You know, he was going to take his disciples and go on a little mini vacation. And what happened? The people found out where he was going. They showed up there. Jesus felt sorry for them, and he spent the whole day teaching and instructing and curing people. No break for him. But plenty of other times in the scriptures, Jesus only worked 3 years. That's not a bad gig. But during those 3 years, he used to take off 40 days at a time. He says, I need a little break. And he'd go off for a month and a half. To do what? To renew his soul, to renew his spirit, to recreate. So, my friends, I'm encouraging, sometime this week, do nothing and see if you don't enjoy the heck out of it. Listen to God. Listen to your heart. Listen through all your senses, through your eyes, your ears. Listen through all of your senses and hear what God's trying to say to you. And relax, relax. And my friends, if you do that, you know what? Less stress, less anxiety, more time, more energy, and you'll be really awed by what transpires in your soul. Give it a shot. Please stand.